time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to grow and scale your business from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, we've returned for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam session. And now, here are your hosts.
Oh, listen to that crowd. Woo! They are fired up. Look at that. That is, you know, Richie, that is a huge crowd. That's probably the hugest crowd of any Friday marketing jam session anyone has ever run. You know, I bet we have bigger crowds than any other marketer out there. Like if you put our crowds next to the other marketing crowds, I bet they're just huge. They're the biggest out there, you know, the biggest out there.
The biggest I've ever seen. Yeah.
Yeah. Our crowds are definitely bigger than everybody else's. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, welcome everybody to the Friday Marketing Jam session. Aloha. Bill says, huge crowds. Yep, that's right. Oh, welcome everybody. We just tested out a new little thing there. So StreamYard they've been adding some new, we do these live shows with StreamYard, just so you guys know. And they've been adding some new functionality. And that's right, Kim. No one has ever seen anything like our crowds. That's right. See, look, we can have a little fun, right? We can have a little fun. So anyway, the StreamYard has a new thing where when you hit live, it automatically plays the intro, and when you go out, it automatically takes the outro out. So awesome stuff. I see I've seen lots more people tuning in from YouTube, which is awesome. I don't know if all of you know this, but we stream this live show in the Facebook group, but we also stream it on our YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. So we also stream it on our YouTube channel. So you can watch in both places. You don't have to be in the group as well. So welcome everybody. So today, we have this little thing. We wanted to do our own little kind of October surprise, right? And I don't know if you guys saw the emails, maybe you got them. We have a little October surprise, a little flash sale. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But today we kind of wanted to just, talk a little bit about, sort of how we handle doing business when times are chaotic, right? Right now, it just happens, we're coming up on an election. It's getting closer and closer. The temperature and the environment, like the temperature of the rhetoric and the all that stuff kind of, escalates as the election gets closer and all those things. And it can create, uncertainty, right? Like people want to know what's going on. So
creates a lot of noise.
Yeah, it's a lot of noise as well, right?
Noise is one of the biggest forms of distraction. And that's the whole idea, is that they're trying to get you distracted, and grab, because that's attention, in the same way, and the media do this, that's exactly what they do. I mean, I can't remember an election in New Zealand in my lifetime where we didn't get close to the day itself, like a month out or a couple of months out and stuff, and the media weren't telling you that it was neck and neck. It's 50-50.
Yeah,
it's their job to do that because it puts your eyeballs on the things that they're saying, and they make a living from advertising revenue. So yeah, it's blocking out the noise, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. Today's show is not a show to be political or anything like that. Like, I'm not going to go into details about any of the politics of it, but I do just want to kind of talk about it because I think there's a lot of times when we're building businesses and as we go through things that a lot of things happen like this, and where it can be very easy to let that stuff impact your attitude and pull your focus away from what you should be doing. Now, I want to say up front, first and foremost, I'm not suggesting that you don't participate, right? I believe that everyone should, look at the stuff, make a decision that you are comfortable with, the decision that you want to make, and you should go vote, right? Like, I vote in all the elections, all that. So, I'm not saying like you just ignore it, but I do go on I am very selective about how much of the outside noise I let in around these times because it affects me, right? Like, I can very easily fall into, being and I've said this before. I used to have the news on a lot when I was working, and I found myself constantly irritated. And I'm like, why am I irritated all the time? Like, and it's because I just had this negativity that was just rolling and rolling and rolling, right? So I put myself on kind of a strict news diet, and I find that to be, I want to engage in that stuff on my terms, not on their terms. So I set some time at the end of the day aside to look things over and research stuff for myself and try to put myself in a position to make an informed decision that's right for me, right? But my main focus is on controlling the things that I can control, right? So for me, that's the actions that I take daily to grow my business and put myself in a position where it's not as important what happens for my direct experience or happiness, right? Like I have found when I put more attention on controlling the things that I can control and handling the things in my direct environment in a good way, that my life becomes infinitely better regardless of what's going on out there. And it's funny because we say like we don't want to make this political and all that stuff. Somebody just couldn't resist. So Richie texted me on what day was that? Richie was like,
was it Wednesday or Tuesday?
So I was actually taking my daughter or going to pick my daughter up from volleyball. It's like 4:45, and Richie texted me and he's like, you need to go check it. You need to like check in the group. There's a message you should see. And so someone took offense with my email about focusing on your business and not focusing on the election. And they had a pretty long comment about, they were really giving me the what for about how, I don't know what's going on and blah, 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 blah. And it was really funny because at the very end, they said, and I'm not even an American citizen. So they were lecturing me on American politics and they weren't even a US citizen, which I thought was very, very funny. So listen, let's not get into all that stuff. I don't need to be lectured on politics. I won't lecture you on politics. Let's just stay focused on what we got going here. So I think Richie got disconnected real quick. So we're going to talk about a few things today. So one, how do we stay focused when stuff is going on around us? And, another thing that I'll kind of bring this around to other things beside, we use the election because that just happens to be what's going on right now. But other things happen too. Disasters happen, like the stuff that's going on with the hurricanes and people in Florida, the fires that we experienced in Maui, right? A lot of you probably don't know this because I don't think that I haven't ever really talked about this at the public level in the group. But one of the reasons that I relocated to Vegas was because my wife was going through some really serious medical issues, and she's good now. Everything's great. This is awesome. It's all good. But it's one of the reasons we left Maui, because it was, based on the things that were going on. But during all of that, right, we were running two businesses, an agency, and what we do here on Offline Sharks. And, how do we just stay focused on that stuff? So there are a couple things I do. And then Richie, I want to hear your thoughts on this too. And I'd love to hear in the comments as well what you guys do. And we'll take your questions if you have specific questions. But for me, there's a few things. One is I have really over the past 6-7 years, just developed an attitude of suit up and show up regardless of how I feel. So really, regardless of how I'm feeling, I suit up and I show up for work. You know, I have things that I want to get accomplished and I do them. You know, for a long time, I used to always let outside things like impact what I got done and what I didn't get done. And I just finally made that decision that like, these are the things I want to do. And here's how I'm going to do that. Right now, it's been a slow process over the years. Like for the first 5 years, it was just business stuff, prospecting and working on my business every day and getting those things in line and suiting up and showing up for that. And not thinking about all the problems that can happen, but just taking the actions and then dealing with anything that comes up when it comes up. Then, you know, I wanted to get in better shape and do some other things and stuff like that. And so it's been a slow process over the years. Like it hasn't, I didn't just like, bam, all of a sudden I'm getting stuff done. But for me, doing those things has allowed me to handle the kind of chaotic stuff that goes in my life, you know, sticking to my schedule of working out helps me to stay less stressed when things are bad, right? When things start going bad or things get chaotic, our first kind of like gut reaction is like, I shouldn't be doing those things. But for me, I need to continue to do those things and stay in the routines because that helps me stay focused on what I need to stay focused on, right? So there's that part. The other part is just surrounding myself with a community, you know, surrounding myself with other like-minded individuals that are looking to do big things too, and that suit up and show up and do their shit as well, right? Like when I look around at my friends and I see them doing great things, like I want to do great things too. So there's that part of it, participating in our community here and Offline Sharks and all that stuff. And then the last thing that I really kind of like make a point to do is spend time with the family, make sure that I am spending time with the family, taking care of those obligations. But also, too, I look for ways that I can be of service to other people, to give back to the community, to do something outside of myself, right? To just kind of just anything that I can do to stop thinking about Tom and Tom's problems and focus on somebody else and maybe helping them or doing some things with them. Those are kind of the key things that I use to stay grounded. Controlling what comes in here, what comes in here, right? That is important as well. Richie, what are some of the things that you do?
Yeah, much the same way. I used to go in this endless circle of adding more to my pile and trying to, work my way out of it and get my list done and all of those things and stuff in the day. And it's when you start being disciplined about these are the things I'm going to focus on and just deliver, and not just in business and everything else, but just in all those facets of life as well. So, I've had a big focus the last couple of years on being more healthy and more exercising and that kind of thing. I allocate my time so that I'm focused on customer acquisition, customer delivery, follow-ups, building relationships, and maintaining those relationships with both in business and personally as well. And so when you start sort of defining that this is me as a person, and these are here's my moral standard, and here's the actions I take daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly to progress these things, and it winds up. A year goes by. I don't know about you, Tom, but I mean, I look at this year and just go, poof, where did that go? Every year seems to get faster and faster. And that is something you hear when you're younger is like, when you're young, years seem to take a long time. The older you get, the quicker they go. So, I look at the start of a year and going, this is what I want to achieve this year, and I check back in on myself and other measurements that I have for seeing how the year's going. And and that is the system that I've developed, and it's not something you just wake up one morning and go bang, that's it. But you've got to have the ethos to apply it and start that journey, because the sooner you do that, the more productive you become, the more you enjoy life as well. And I think the biggest thing, and I mean, you and Nick said it years ago, was like, get some exercise, because exercise makes you feel better. It's one of the key things that actually lifts your motivation and your person, and you feel better after exercise. It's the endorphins that get released from doing it. That's why we do it. And I think you'll find, the vast majority of successful people, we look at, maybe you look at self-made people, and that they focus on a fitness routine. It's not everyone, but there are most people that have crafted it themselves and been successful in this business and in others have a fitness regime or something that is good for them mentally and physically, because that makes you perform better in the workplace or your business environment.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons that I started getting in shape, because Nick and I went to Nick had been kind of like prodding me, like, you should start getting in shape. You should get out. You should do things. And I just never did it. And then we went to this, we got invited to a mastermind in Barcelona. And I was sitting at one of the places we were at with Chris Winters, who's in amazing shape. Right. And we were talking, and he was like, he doesn't drink, and I don't drink. And he's like, I don't understand. He's like, you already don't drink. He's like, if you just did a little bit of exercise, like, it would change your life, And I was like, I don't know, for just some reason at that moment, I actually heard that message, So like, he sent me this little, let me show you the evolution of how change works in my life. And I'm going to use this as an example. But so I thought, well, I'm not going to start going to the gym every day. Like, that's just not it. Right. So the first thing I do is I start looking for the fastest, least amount of work way to get the most amazing results I've ever gotten. Like, that's like my default go-to, is I'm always like, how can I figure out how to get better results than everybody else without doing all that stuff? Now, that is a fault of mine. Like, I have to constantly work against that, because that's just like where my brain goes. But Chris had this little, he had a workout program that he had put together that was 20 minutes. It was a 20-minute workout 3 days a week. And there was a diet that went with it that I thought, well, I think I can do this diet, So, I talked to my wife, and we got on the same page on the diet, and I started doing this workout 20 minutes, 3 days a week. And it was something that I could be consistent with. Like, I couldn't be consistent with going to the gym for an hour or two. Like, I wanted to get in and get out, but feel like I had a good workout and all that. And so I lost a bunch of weight. I got down, like, I was like 210 when I started that, and I got down to like 170. This is when we were in Maui. And but then, like, I started looking for different, like, I wanted to do kind of different workout programs, and I wanted to try different stuff. And so, when you fast forward to today, like, a few weeks ago, I was at the gym and I was only there for 40 minutes. And I thought, oh, well, this workout was too short. Like, I mean, that's the change that happened over the years. I went from just barely being able to do 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week, to now I'm at the gym 45 minutes to an hour, 5 days a week. And like, I love it. Like, I love it. I love going. I don't always enjoy the workouts. So Richie, the other day, the workout on Wednesday was, you get 2 dumbbells and you set a timer for 40 minutes and you do 5 walking lunges and 5 push presses, and you just do that straight for 40 minutes.
Ooh.
It was miserable. I only used 8-pound weights. But,
hang on, you pay to go and do that?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Now, here's why I hate and I love those types of workouts. For me, that type of a workout is a mental exercise. We talk about, well, how do we stay the course in business? How do we keep going when it's tough and we don't want to continue to go? For me, doing some of these physically challenging workouts that are a mental thing, that translates to me being able to do more in my business, right? So when I'm like, okay, doing some challenging things, and I see like, man, I can do this. Like, I can get through this. I'm able to do things that I didn't think I could do. Then I have an easier time in my business life and my personal life in doing those uncomfortable things, right? Because there's lots of stuff we have to do that we feel uncomfortable already. I don't always want to do that stuff, but doing these types of physical challenges keeps it makes it so I'm like, well, I can handle this. If I can handle that, I can handle 20 minutes of answering emails, or whatever it is. So, and the workout today was really tough as well. Like it was really a hard one this morning, but I find that stuff helps me. So when I say like change is a process for me, that's kind of what I'm talking about. And in my business life, it's been the same thing. I started getting clients, doing the work myself. Like I very quickly, like I am not I'm all right. I'm going to be really transparent with you guys. I do not like working with clients. Like I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy the client meetings. I don't enjoy the follow-up. The prospecting is like, I just like, I can do it. I can do it and I can do it, but like, it just does not get my motor running. Like I just don't go. So when you look at a lot of the stuff that we've developed at Offline Sharks over the years, especially the things that I'm involved in, almost all of them are ways to not do those things that I don't like, right? Like I want to remove myself from the prospecting as quickly as possible. That's why we use appointment setters. That's why we have systems like Clockwork Clients. And that's why I love the Reach system, because those things take me out of the stuff that I don't like to do. And it makes me able to grow the business more effectively because I'm not doing all of what I feel like. To me, they're just like energy and time sucking motions, right? Like I don't want to be doing them. If I have to do them, don't get me wrong. Like if I have to do them, I will, but I would much rather have a business where I don't have to do those things. And so when you look at a lot of how the agency has grown and what we've done there, it's been taking ourselves out of those uncomfortable stuff, right? So those things that we don't like to do. That's why we set up the SOPs and the processes. Mm-hmm. Does it take a little more work up front? Absolutely. But is it worth it? Absolutely. Like, how, like when I think about that year that we took to put those SOPs together, every day that I don't have to do some of that stuff, I think, man, that was absolutely worth it, right? Because like, I don't have to do any of that stuff. We have somebody on the team doing it. So, I say all that to say, like, knowing yourself, right? Knowing yourself, knowing what your weaknesses are. Like I used to think because I didn't want to do the prospecting and all that stuff, that there was something wrong with me. But there's not anything wrong with me. Like I can have a great agency business, even though that's the way I am. I just have to realize that's the way I am and then work on putting systems and things in place that make up for my weakness, or surrounding myself with people that are the opposite of me. That's one of the reasons why Nick and I work so well together, because Nick is not that way. Nick is let's plan everything out. Let's get it all down on paper. Let's do the processes, all that stuff. Right. So, he has inspired me and driven me to develop more of those skills, just like I've kind of driven and inspired him to relax a little. And like, we don't always have to have everything figured out when we're going to do something. Right. Mm-hmm.
I think that's a rabbit hole that, particularly in this industry, and the amount of people I've seen who I've been a victim of this myself, and I've done it to myself as well. Is I've got to have everything done and dusted, and the I's dotted and the T's crossed before I get in touch with someone, or before I do this. It's you use it as a blocker to stop you from progressing, and there's nothing truer than just get on with it, figure it out as you go. That is, especially when it comes to prospecting, is just do it. It will work itself out. You will make it work. But if you keep on waiting for everything to be perfect, then it's just going to cause you a time delay, and nothing happens when you do that. Nothing happens at all. So, and I think in my first couple of years, Tom, I did a lot of the whole that's not ready to go yet. I've got to wait until I've done this. I've got to wait until I've done that. And certainly my attitude since I've been here in the States is just do it and get it sorted out as you go. And particularly this year, we've been jumping way ahead of ourselves and going, well, we're just going to put this in. And now, we've, as I was talking to you earlier, and, we've put a couple of things in just over the last 3 weeks. We've done 3 major things that have come in, and we've set them up, done them, and they're out and they're working. And so our speed to getting those things done has become really good because we're used to just going, we've got to activate that. And so in the space of Monday to Friday, we will get it sorted out, dialed in, and working for us, so that the following week we carry on using it, and we just keep on building more and more resource and ability as a business from having that process worked out. But if I sat there and said, well, I'm going to have to work on that and everything else before I even touch it, now I'll be waiting until after Christmas, for those things. So yeah, get on and do it. Yeah,
that's awesome stuff. Do you guys have any questions about how to stay focused? We're going to do some shout outs here in a minute and take some questions. Do you guys have any questions? Because, there's another thing that I was thinking about with this too, as we were coming up on this live show, Richie, is, and I saw, I think Bill put a post in the comments about, he has a friend who's in, he says his partner's been doing profit planning tracking. And he says, people always holding onto the wall. We've noticed that as well too. Like there has been Dan Kennedy always says that money has an ebb and a flow, and right now it's not flowing. Like there was a lot of flowing before. It is, it's not the same now. We've noticed that in our businesses as well. We've been making adjustments and altering plans based on what's going on and how to best proceed and all that stuff, right? This is the thing about trying to get perfect, like you were just talking about. The problem is the target doesn't stay the same. Like the things that you need to be doing in one type of economy are not the things that you have to be doing in another type of economy. And because the outside stuff is always changing, if you wait to have the perfect plan, it may be perfect for that particular moment, but once you start implementing that plan and something changes, you're right back to where you started and you got to figure it all out again. So There really is I've never had a single business plan that has just like stayed the same from beginning to end. There's always updating and adjusting and changing and, well, okay, now we got to figure this out. And why is this happening? And okay, that pushed us this way. Now this is pushing us that way. So you just have to make peace with the fact that is the way it is, right? That's the way of an entrepreneurship. That's the way it's going to be. And so you want to have things good. You want to think things out, but you don't want to wait till it's perfect because that won't always last. The other thing that I was thinking about with this, with the elections coming up is like, okay, so the election is going to happen. Someone is going to win, right? Someone is going to win. There's going to be a bunch of people whose person didn't win.
Yeah.
Right. There's going to be a bunch of people whose persons didn't win. A bunch of people whose persons did win. So how do you since we don't how do we continue to move forward even when we're not going to win? Now, I'm going to make a jump here because I was thinking about this with the election. Like, okay, well, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. And it got me thinking, because you guys know I love college football. I'm a college football fanatic. Tomorrow is a big rivalry game for my team. My team is Oklahoma. They're playing Texas tomorrow. Texas is the number 1 team in the country. Their quarterback looks amazing. Their defense looks awesome. Their offense is on fire. Like they are wiping the floor with everybody.
But they haven't got something that Oklahoma have got, Tom.
Well, Oklahoma, we're ranked number 18.
Yeah, but they haven't got you as a fan. They're from Texas. I mean, they're nice, polite, happy people.
Here's my point. Like we have 6 starters out. Like we're injured, we're banged up. I do not Texas should win this game tomorrow. Like they should win, and they probably should win in a dominating fashion, right? I don't have expectations that Oklahoma is going to win, because like I look at it and I go, we got issues and all that stuff. But here's the thing, like the team has to go and play that game, right? Like because we think like, oh, we can't win, you don't go, well, let's just not play this one, right? Like there's a reason they play the games. Because even when those things are all stacked against you, and even when it doesn't look like there's any chance that you can come out on top, sometimes weird stuff happens.
And it happened here last Saturday. We had Vanderbilt played Alabama.
There you go.
Number one ranked team, and Vanderbilt beat them. And
beat them good.
Then they literally rioted upwards. They took the goalpost out of the ground, carried it 3 miles down Broadway, and chucked it in the river.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It was, which was I thought it was a bit disgraceful, to be honest. But you know what? That's the celebration and the epic. They just did not expect to win. And they won. They won well, So it's fantastic. And anything could happen on the day.
Yeah. And I bring all that up just to kind of bring this home and to illustrate, like, we just have to, again, this comes back to what I started the show with. Those players are going to suit up, show up, and do their best. Like, what else can anyone expect? And when you're like, college sports are a lot like politics. There's a lot of hype and talk all around, right? Like, OU fans get on their high horse and we're going to win. And Texas fans get on their high horse, we're going to win. And the media is all talking about how everybody's going to get clobbered. And, then you got Dorn popping up talking about how your team is no good. And, it would be really easy to just let all of that stuff just, but hey, you shoot up, you show up, they play the game. I watch the game. I'm not even playing, right? So like, I can just watch the game. I can enjoy the experience regardless of the outcome, and just see how it goes. Right. So like, I think that kind of ties back into what we're talking about as well.
Wow, that's what a Monday morning is for me and my agency, mate. I turn up on Monday morning and I play the game. Next week is next week, and I will still have a whiteboard full of stuff, and I'm just going to turn up, get into it. That's what we do.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we do, and that's kind of like what I'm hoping that you guys take away from this live show and think about how you can implement these things in your life to continue to move forward and do those things regardless of what's going on around you, right? Now, a couple things. One is we have an October surprise sale going on right now. It's a flash sale. I'm going to put a link here. You don't need to go there now, but if you go to offlinesharks.com/surprise, we put one of our core products that will help you do a lot of the stuff that we're talking about today, right? That can help you remove yourself from the prospecting, continue to get results while you're doing things. We have a surprise sale going for it. If you go to offlinesharks.com/surprise, you'll see that. You can take a look at it. I'm not going to go into a lot of details on that. Just check it out. I do want to celebrate some wins, though. I want to celebrate the people in our community that are taking action, right? That are taking action and continuing to move forward regardless of what's going on around them. They're just going forward. So let's do that real quick. I am going to a couple of things. First, we're going to do an accountability shout out. So this is to our Agency Evolution members. And I want to give a big shout out to Alan and Devendra. These two guys have been like rocks with accountability check-ins in Agency Evolution. Like, they're suiting up, they're showing up, they're putting in the work, and they're getting results. Like, we see Devendra and his they unloaded a buttload of wins last week, right? So
I think he's got more coming. I both Alan and Devendra, I've been talking to them all week long. I had a great call with Alan yesterday and covered off a few things. And the point where these guys are at is testament to the hard work that they put in, but the good nature of what they're doing as well. They are absolute rock stars. There's going to be some huge things come out of both of these guys in the next few weeks. They are really on fire. So, yeah, two fantastic people doing a great job.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So Thirst. That's a big shout out there. Next, we're going to do our short shout outs. And Shushan made this into this like great little slideshow. This is really awesome. This is a new thing too. We're doing it right inside of stream. So first up, we've got Mr. Brandon Stewart. He sold a new Google Business Profile client, $699. 2 SEO upsells to existing clients, $1,500 each. Those are solid wins.
And just the consistency from Brandon is just incredible, and the intelligence that he applies to it as well. His process and systems. He gave me a great idea about 3 weeks ago. When somebody opens a cold email and then sending a quick video message to them, 20, 30 seconds after they've opened it, and it is working like a charm. It is so clever. That's the evolution of what he's done with his reach system, and it's just bang on point. Really good stuff.
Yeah, well, and I've been seeing like in the reach group and even inside, I forget what the other group is. I know in the reach group for sure. He's been posting these like prospecting tips. Like I think he's got like 4 or 5 in there.
Yeah,
every single one of them
all right on point. They're really good.
Yeah, every single one of them is excellent. I think he might have posted. Did he post them in the 100K club too?
Probably, yeah. I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, awesome stuff. So good work, Brandon. Keep it up, man. Bilal, this was awesome. I saw Bilal make this post in the Facebook group, and I was like, "This is so great." His post was like, "I sold a website." So he went through the stealth prospecting challenge. He was like, "I'm going to do the stealth prospecting." He got his first website sale, 500 pounds, which is about what I bench, Richie. That's $650 US. He sold a home services jackpot cleaning website. What was really great to me was he was like, I sold it. Now what do I do? Like, I love that. That's the kind of attitude and the way
that's exactly what I was just talking about before was, hey, create the problem, then fix it. That is not a bad situation to be in. I've sold this. What do I do next? Because you're in an environment with offline sharks, in the forums that we have, you're in an environment where someone's going to say, do this, this, and this, and you just go and get it done, and once you've made that sale, you're under a bit of pressure as well, and that can be the biggest and quickest way to learn, and you'll get that done, and the next one becomes much easier than the first one, so yeah, great move. Get on with it. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, and we have plenty of people here that got your back. You know what I mean? Like, I think, I don't know if it was Bilal. It might have been somebody else. But somebody else made a stealth prospecting sale, and they were like, oh, what do I do? And I private messaged them, and I was like, well, what was the niche you sold? Do you have that theme? If not, we'll get it to you. Like, we are not going to leave you hanging. The people in our community are not going to leave you hanging, right? Like, there's enough people here that can help you and show you exactly what to do. So really awesome stuff.
Well, I think, and on that post, I saw Dawn, Norm, and others as well, give really detailed explanations of next steps and stuff as well, so that's the community we live in, is that you're never going to get left hanging. We've got your back.
Yeah. Paul Michaels. You're right, Dorn. It was Paul Michaels. And so really awesome stuff. Next up, we've got Donna Norris. She upsold and closed 3 of her $297 a month HVAC clients to $5,000 a month Facebook ads packages under her new tier 2 pricing. $1,500 plan retired.
Good stuff. Hey, wow.
Donna crushing it.
Yeah, not surprising from Donna. And 100K club. Exceeded the 100K a long time ago, and has got to be looking forward to a 7-figure windfall, surely.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Well, I think she said that she's up to like 30. Was it 30,000? Is that what she said? I think in this post she made a comment about her monthly recurring revenue. Hold on, let me check this out, because I mean it was impressive. Let me see if I can find it real quick. She had a thing about, hold please. I could play some music. Dun, 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 dun. Because I remember when I saw this come through, it was, oh, here it is. Yeah. So she said, HVAC clients are gearing up for the season. Go get them business. She said also this will push her to over 300,000 annual recurring revenue.
Yeah.
So I want to take a minute and just bring this into focus for all of you that are on this call right now, or maybe watching this recording. Donna has been in our Facebook group for I know at least a year, but I think over a year, maybe a couple of years.
Yeah,
right?
I think probably around about the 2-year mark, I'd say, and like active involvement and everything else. So, yeah.
About over a year ago, we ran a clients for Christmas challenge, and Donna jumped in on that challenge, which is the same. It was very similar to the stealth challenge. So she started doing some remote prospecting, selling some pre-built websites. She sold one, then she sold two. Then she sold a bunch during the challenge. Last year, she had $100K in annual revenue for her agency. So she joined the challenge. She took action, right? She hits 100K. Now she's over 300K because she's just continued to build and grow and learn new things. That's how this thing can start for anyone. You know what I mean? And this is a perfect example. All the wins on this, on here today are a perfect example of not letting all of that outside distraction stuff bother you and just taking action day in and day out, and look where you end up, right? So really, really awesome stuff, Donna. Really awesome stuff. So that's a grand total. This week's Shark win is a combined total of $19,349 for the week of October 5th through the 11th. It's a grand total of $927,675 since the start of 2024. We are so close to crossing $1 million. Well, you, not us, you are so close to crossing $1 million in closed business just from taking action and doing stuff. I can't wait to see that. So if you haven't been sharing your wins, make a post, share your new wins, share your recurring wins. Even if it's not monetary, just share the wins that you're getting. We want to see that. Really, really awesome stuff. So congratulations.
Well, I think we've got 3 more Fridays in the month of October, and I would think there's no reason why we can't get to 1 million by the end of October, and then really hone it in on November and December and close out this year wickedly strong.
Yeah, really great stuff. And again, don't forget to check out our October surprise. You can go to offlinesharks.com/surprise. You'll see we put one of our core courses on sale, something we don't do a lot, but now's your chance to hop in on that as well. Richie, I want to do, let's go ahead and give away some Cash App money. And then we're going to let people get out and enjoy their weekend. So every week we like to give away some Cash App money. So this week, I'm going to share my screen here. Here's what I want you guys to put in the chat. So we've been talking a lot. What's your biggest takeaway from today's call? Was there one thing? Because for me, I'm hoping your big takeaway was it's up to you, right? You control your destiny. No one else. You, right? It's up to you and the small daily actions that you can start taking today or tomorrow to get to that place where you want to go. So for today's Cash App hashtag, I want you guys to put in hashtag you decide. You decide. I mean, Donna, Brandon, all the people we saw in the wins, they came to a point where they decided enough is enough. I'm going to take the actions and I'm going to make this thing work. And look where they're at now, right? So put in hashtag you decide. While you're filling that up, I'm going to play one of my favorite songs of Friday.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, chatter, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Everybody's putting in hashtag you decide. Yes. All right. Awesome. Coming in. We're going to give away 2 $25 Cash App monies. I hope everybody enjoys the weekend. I hope tomorrow, you know, Richie, I hope it's a good game. Like, I would like for it to just be a good game, win or lose, but, you know, obviously I'd like to win. I have a buddy I have actually a couple of buddies here who are big Texas fans, and so they've been giving me a lot of flack over the past few days. It's been fun to take. All right, here we go. We're going to do our first drawing. $25 Cash App money goes to Dan. Hey, Dan Lesser.
Hey,
Congratulations, Dan. Congratulations.
My man, the Dan. Hey,
Dan the man. All right, awesome. Our next winner of $25 in Cash App money is going to be Tri-City Barbecue Fest. Ooh,
sounds
barbecue.
good to me.
That sounds good. You know, I met a guy yesterday who works at a place here called Rollin' Smoke. And everybody says it's delicious. I've never been there. Maybe that's where I'll go eat dinner tonight. Barbecue sounds good, Richie. Sounds good. Listen, to our winners.
Oh, yeah.
Put your Cash App tag in the comments or let us know, or somebody from our support will reach out to you to get that.
You can always hold on to the what was it called? The smoke place?
Yeah, it's called Rolling Smoke.
Hold out till next weekend, buddy, and I'm in town. We'll both go and check it out.
Oh, you're there. You're here next weekend, right?
Next Saturday morning, quite early. We arrive Saturday morning, and I'm there until Wednesday.
Okay, you have to let me know where you're. Well, we can talk after this, but yeah, awesome, cool. Well, congratulations to the winners. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Friday Marketing Live Jam session. We will be back here next week, same shark time, same shark channel. Stay safe out there, everybody, and practice aloha.
One more thing.
Yep.
Make sure you take action. You know, go and do something that benefits your business. Ignore the noise. Get something done this weekend. Make it go out on Monday morning. That's the best way you can start a new week.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, Lynette, this Ethylene chocolate is delicious. It is delicious. Lynette. We might have some issues, Lynette. We may have some issues. I'm just kidding. Hey, good luck to everybody. Stay safe. Practice aloha. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam session. We've helped thousands just like you start and scale their businesses. If you'd like our help to grow your business, go to the link on your screen now and let us know how we can help you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.